Okay, in this tutorial we're going to create a Rubik Cube like the one that you see in this picture. It's a good way to consolidate what you have learned so far. So as with most modeling, you would start with a primitive, so we're going to choose a box and we're going to drag out the footprint in the top viewport, click once, drag up, click again, right click to drop the tool. And now we can go switch to our Modifier tab and we can make some settings here. First I want to check in my unit setup to make sure that I am in centimeters, and I'm going to set the length to 10 centimeters, the height to 10 and the width to 10, and then the segments to 3 by 3 by 3. Okay, and then I'm going to press Shift Control Z to fit into all my viewports. I'm going to activate the perspective viewport by right clicking in there and then pressing Alt W to go full screen. Now I can't see those 3 by 3 by 3 segments here because I don't have edged faces on, so I'm going to press F4 to show those edges. I also want to center this object on the origin of my scene, so I'm going to right click on my Select and Move tool, and then I'm going to right click on each one of the spinners for absolute positioning X, Y, and Z so that it gets moved into the center, and then I'll just press Z to center it on the scene. So I'm going to apply an Edit Poly modifier. So there it is, and I'm going to go into the polygon sub-object mode. I'm going to click to select one poly, and then in my selection roll-up I'm going to press Grow multiple times until I have all the polygons selected. I'm going to close up all of the roll-ups so that I can only dig into what I need. I'm going to go to Edit Polygons, and for Bevel I'm going to go to Settings, and I'm going to change the height value to begin with just to something quite high, like 6 centimeters, so I can see what's happening. And then you can see not much is happening at the moment, and that's because of this group option here. So we're going to change from group normals to by polygon, and you can see now each polygon is beveling out by a certain amount. So now I can change that value to something that's more reasonable. So I'm going to take it down to let's make it 0.5 centimeters. Let me type that in exactly. And I'm going to press the plus button to do, oh sorry, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to change the inset value, sorry, the outline value to, let's make that minus 0.2. Minus. Okay, and now I can actually take this 0.5 down. I think it's too high. Let's take it down to 0.2 as well. Okay, that's a little bit more like a Rubik Cube. And then press the little check box here to apply your settings, and then you can click away, and now you have the beginnings of your Rubik Cube. I'm going to name it Rubik Cube. You can do that either up here or you can do it in your Scene Explorer. I'm also going to change the color to something generic like a medium gray. Okay, so now what we need to do is, in order to apply the colors to our Rubik Cube, we need to set material IDs. So still in polygon mode, what I'm going to do is go to this selection roll-up, and I'm going to make sure that Ignore Backfacing is on so that I don't accidentally select the polygons that I don't want to select. And then I'm going to start selecting. Make sure that you're on the Select Object tool and not the Select and Move tool, because you don't want to accidentally move a polygon while you're selecting it. So Select Object, and then we're going to click, hold down Control, and click to select all of these polygon faces on the one side. We're then going to go down to Polygon Material IDs, and we'll set that ID to 1. And then just to make sure that we don't accidentally reset the IDs to something else here, under Edit Geometry, I'm going to say Hide Selected. So those polygons are now hidden, so I can't accidentally reassign another ID. And I'm going to continue going around here, selecting the 9 faces of each side of the Rubik Cube and setting another ID. So here we'll set this to 2 and then hide selected. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up and continue doing this until it's completed. Okay, so we've got all 6 sides of the 9 blocks done. So we have 6 IDs so far. Now the balance of what's left here, I'm just going to drag a selection region over those to select them all. Now, because I had ignore back facing on, it hasn't selected the back there. So I'm going to remove ignore back facing, or at least uncheck it, and then do that again. Select a region, and you can see now all those leftover polys are selected, and I'm going to set the material ID for those to 7. Okay, and then I'm going to go under edit geometry and I'm going to say unhide all and click away. So now, and you must do this, I'm going to just check that all of my IDs are correct by going in here and clicking and entering a number and pressing select ID. Make sure clear selection is on so that each time you change the number it's going to clear it. So I'm going to set the number to 1 and press select, and there I have just those 9 selected. That's what I want. I'm going to go to 2, press select, and yes, I have those 9 selected. 3, yes, 4, yep, 5, where's my 5? Oh, there's my 5. 6 there, and 7 there. Okay, so I think I'm in good shape to continue now. So although at this early stage of the course you're not going to learn about materials, just for the purposes of this exercise I want you to go through the experience of applying a simple material to this object once you've got to this stage. So we're going to bring up the material editor. The button is up here on your toolbar, or you can just press M, and it brings up your standard slate material editor. So in order to apply materials to an object that has multiple IDs, you need to use a material called the multi-sub object. So I'm going to double click on the multi-sub object to bring it up in here, and then I'm going to double click on the title to bring up its settings here, and I'm just going to call it Rubik Cube. Our Rubik Cube has 7 IDs, so I'm going to click on set number, and I'm going to bring this number down to 7, and then I'm going to give them names. So over here I'm going to set number 7 to black, set 6 to purple, 5 to white, 4 to yellow, 3 to green, 2 to blue, and 1 to red. Okay, and then what I can do is actually start plugging those colors in here, but so that I can see it happening in real time, what I'm going to do is apply this multi-sub object material to the Rubik Cube. So the Rubik Cube is already selected, so all I have to do is go up here to this button that says assign material to selection, and the material goes dark because we have no materials plugged into these different slots yet. But also, in order for us to actually see the colors, we need to change our shading mode, and at the moment it's on default shading. We need to change it to flat color. so that as we are applying the colors, we will actually see them in our viewport. So I want you to double click on physical material, double click on the title again, and on the side here, call it red. And then from the presets, choose glossy paint, change your color to red. You can close it up from the little minus sign here so that it doesn't take up so much space, and then we're going to wire it by dragging from this little circle into the red slot, the number 1 slot. And you'll see now my Rubic Cube has one side that goes red. Okay, so I'm going to repeat this process another 6 times. I'll speed it up so that we have our Rubic Cube colored. Okay, so now that we have our 7 different physical materials applied to our 7 multi-sub object slots, I can close the material editor, and now if I look around at my Rubic Cube, I have all the colors applied, the black in between and all the different colors. Okay, so that's it. I hope that this has helped you to apply what you have learned so far in Max. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and see you next time.